Actually, we all moved to Los Angeles at different times and worked as session singers doing background work and demos and things like that. And Cassandra Mills, who is president of Black Music at Giant Records, our label, was looking for 3 young ladies to sing I Wanna Love You for the Class Act soundtrack. So she basically reached out to some of her producer friends, and because they knew us and we were sort of, I know somebody, so we were introduced to each other and to her through that avenue, yeah.
Let me paint the scene for you real quick. Imagine selling millions of records, traveling the world, and creating a legacy that had everybody jamming. Then, fast forward, and you're neck deep in a legal battle with the very folks you came up with. That's the tea for the ladies of Jade, one of the baddest R&B groups of the 90s who had us all vibing to their hits. Back then, they were on top of the world with bops like Don't Walk Away and I Wanna Love You. But now? Honey, it's all court cases and drama. And this ain't your average disagreement. No, ma'am. This scandal's got lawsuits, counterclaims, and a sisterhood broken apart. You're gonna want to keep it right here, because we're diving deep into every twist, turn, and clap back in this saga, from their rise to fame to the wild fallout that's kept fans talking. Grab your popcorn, it's about to get real. Alright, let's get real with it. Jade came up in the game when everybody wanted a piece of that 90s girl group vibe. Giant Records was thirsty to get their own hit group after seeing En Vogue and TLC blow up. So they sent in Cassandra Mills, their black music queen pin, to put together something fresh. Sis knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted a group that was glam but still had that street energy. Ladies who could bring it in dog tags and boots but still sing their souls out. So, she put together Jade, stacking up Joi Marshall, Tonya Kelly, and Di Reed.
Actually, we all moved to Los Angeles at different times and worked as session singers doing background work and demos and things like that. And Cassandra Mills, who is president of Black Music at Giant Records, our label, was looking for 3 young ladies to sing I Wanna Love You for the Class Act soundtrack. So she basically reached out to some of her producer friends, and because they knew us and we were sort of, I know somebody, so we were introduced to each other and to her through that avenue, yeah.
These 3, each one could be the lead, each one could bring the heat. Fast forward to 1992, and Jade drops their debut album, Jade to the Max. That joint went off. And with Don't Walk Away, whew, they had the whole world listening. That track hit so hard you'd think it was the only song playing on the radio. From TV shows to concerts, they were everywhere, serving us looks, giving us that flavor, and bringing that real R&B magic. These ladies were killing it. But let me tell you something, all that glitters ain't gold. While Jade was out here living the dream, there was drama brewing behind the scenes. Giant Records? They weren't exactly the rock-solid foundation the ladies needed. Every time they came off tour, new faces were running the label. People who didn't know their story, didn't care about their struggles. So while Jade was out here raking in hits, there were cracks in the foundation. And trust me, those cracks, they were only gonna get bigger.
Sometimes in love, you got to take your time.
Now let's get into the real mess behind Jade's so-called success. Yeah, they had the hits, the fame, the fans, but what they didn't have? That cash flow. See, Joi got a wake-up call when she rang up Giant Records' royalty department, expecting to talk about when that money was going to hit her account. Instead, she heard 2 words: recoupment and cross-collateralization. Now, if you don't know, recoupment is the industry's sneaky way of saying, we're taking all the money we fronted for studio time, promo, and all that out of your cut. Cross-collateralization, that's where they're dipping into one project's profits to pay off another. So basically, Jade was seeing nothing for all the records they sold. Millions of records moved, but not a penny in their pockets. Ain't that some mess? And just when it looked like they might get somewhere, Giant Records pulled another fast one. They rebranded as Revolution Records and dropped a bunch of their artists, Jade included. No notice, no support, just snatched the rug right from under them. One minute, these ladies were at the top, touring, living the dream. Next thing, they're left high and dry with no label backing, no money, no plan. Imagine that frustration. Putting in all that grind, selling out shows, but still left broke. And honey, this was only the start of Jade's troubles. The story's just heating up, so stick around. Alright, so fast forward to 2013. Joi and Tonya were out here thinking, why don't we get the girls back together, give Jade a proper reunion? They reached out to Di Reed, hoping to put that old school magic back in the mix. But instead of smooth sailing, that reunion idea quickly hit rough waters. Di had commitments elsewhere, out touring and singing backup for big names like Rod Stewart, so she wasn't available. But Joi and Tonya were ready to push forward, so they brought in Miracle Holloway to fill Di's spot. Together with Miracle, they released the single Baby Love in 2014, trying to spark that Jade comeback without missing a beat. Now you'd think this new lineup might be the start of something fresh, right? Not quite. By 2019, things got even more tangled. Di decided to take a big step and register the Jade trademark, making sure they all had a stake in the name. So, she added Joi and Tonya as co-owners, officially tying all three of them to the Jade brand. Seems like a solid move, right? They had their legal rights set up, and it looked like they were getting on the same page, at least on paper. But, boy, the trademark agreement was just the start of a new chapter in the drama saga. With this setup, it looked like a comeback could be in the cards, but you know how it goes. Old wounds and new business don't always mix. That trademark deal might have given them ownership on paper, but it did nothing for the tension bubbling under the surface. The scene was set, and trust, the drama was far from over. The heat was just turning up. Come 2021, things start to get messy all over again. Word is Joi and Tonya were trying to holler at Di, get her back on board for a reunion. But according to them, Di wasn't answering her phone, acting like she was ghosting the whole idea. But Di, she said, nah, that's not it. She claimed she was down for a reunion, but wasn't trying to work with Joi. Di and Tonya supposedly had their own little convo, and they was talking about moving forward, just the two of them. So now, we got two different stories, and both got holes in them. All we know is this group was nowhere near ready to get along, much less hit the stage together. But then, sis, the bomb dropped. Di's chillin' when she spots this flyer for the 90s Kickback Tour. And who's listed as Jade on the flyer? Not her, it's Joi, Tonya, and Miracle Holloway reppin' Jade with Di straight up left out. That hit Di like a slap to the face. Imagine that. She a founding member, her name on that trademark, and her so-called sisters out here trying to tour as Jade without even a heads up. That was it. Di felt flat out betrayed. She saw it like they'd snuck behind her back, threw her under the bus, and just kept it moving. And trust, Di wasn't just gonna sit there and let that slide. Sis was ready to throw hands, legally speaking, and now the gloves were off. This was about to get ugly. Di was done playing nice. After spotting that tour flyer without her face on it, Di decided it was time to take her sisters to court. She hit Joi, Tonya, and Miracle with a lawsuit for trademark infringement, claiming they had no right to be using the name Jade without her in the mix. Di's argument? If her name's on that trademark, they don't get to just cut her out and keep stacking coins off the Jade name. To her, it wasn't just disrespect, it was straight up illegal. Di laid it out, saying Joi and Tonya were out here trying to cash in on a legacy she helped build. Like they could just rewrite history without her. And she wasn't having it. She wanted her rightful cut, plus some, for all the gigs and coins she felt were owed. But you think Joi and Tonya were just gonna sit back? Nah. They clapped back with a counter lawsuit, accusing Di of messing with their rep and blocking their bag. According to them, Di's legal moves had promoters second-guessing booking them, and it had a real effect on their income. They were saying her actions weren't just shady, they were costing them real money in future shows. Now, this legal standoff wasn't just about business. It was personal. And every move only made that gap between them wider. Trust, this wasn't just another lawsuit. It was shaping up to be one of the wildest, messiest trademark battles in R&B history. Alright, so Di wasn't just letting this beef play out in court. Oh no, she took it straight to the streets and the airwaves. Di was calling up anybody who'd listen, from promoters to radio stations, trying to stop Joi, Tonya, and Miracle from performing under the Jade name. She wasn't playing around, even reaching out to Miracle herself, telling her she had no business being part of Jade, and that Joi and Tonya were out here pulling a fast one. And you know she wasn't keeping it quiet either. Di hit up social media and radio, letting people know just how dirty she felt Joi and Tonya were acting. She was out there saying they had no legit claim to Jade and that they were running a whole fraud operation, trying to get booked as the group without her. This wasn't just some private drama behind closed doors. Di was making it loud for the world to see. This wasn't just a legal battle anymore. It was a full-on war. They were throwing shade in court and dragging each other through the mud in public. Di wanted everybody to know she wasn't about to let anyone mess with her legacy, and she was coming for every last dime they made without her. Now let's talk about the fans, because you know they're caught up in all this mess too. Fans of Jade are out here feeling all kinds of ways. Some of them just want their favorite trio back together, singing those classic hits without all this extra drama. But here they are, watching the ladies they love go head-to-head in court, throwing shade in public. It's like everyone's got their own side. Some ride for Di, others stand behind Joi and Tonya, and everybody's wishing they could just see them all together on stage again. If you're here for all the real R&B drama and want to stay in the loop with every twist and turn, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're bringing you all the tea, all the nostalgia, and all the updates on the legends you love. Don't miss out.